Welcome to the new YouTube channel. If you haven't already done it, hit the subscribe button to follow us all season long for updates and content. So happy that you're here. It's going to be a great year.
We got to talk about him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen this offseason, but your boy Robert Saleh, the New York Jets, just get stamped with a 0 today. The Miami Dolphins, 30-0 without Tyreek Hill. Jets, abysmal. I mean, what is going to be the solve here in New York with the Jets, Jets, Rich?
The solve is what it was last season, Mitchell, a healthy Aaron Rodgers. And I think that's what's tough, is because can you properly, even evaluate Robert Saleh's job without the franchise quarterback you traded all this for? You literally traded, picked up his receivers, did what he asked you to do, and then your head coach doesn't have him at his disposal, and now you're like, hey, let's fire the head coach. I mean, how? At least give him a shot with the quarterback. Now, if they go freaking 5 wins with Aaron Rodgers under center for an entire season, then fire everybody, Mitchell. Fire the whole crew. But I highly doubt that's happened. That has never happened under Aaron Rodgers. I don't think it'll start now. And so I think he deserves another chance. I think they'll give him another chance. I think Joe Douglas made some mistakes this season, not seeing the writing on the wall after Aaron Rodgers went out week 1. There were capable backups in the league. We already saw what different guys have done this season in that role. I mean, we talk about Jake Browning, Josh Dobbs played really well in spurts. Even you got Jameis, you got guys like that. Jacoby Brissett, guys that were available to potentially be had as capable backups who have won games in this league. I mean, Joe Flacco. Clearly they saw Joe Flacco the year before, but maybe that wasn't the offense for him. Maybe the offensive line wasn't good enough, but still, he would have done better than Zach Wilson in a lot of these games and probably given him a chance to win. So I think they got to give him another year.
I would agree with you, Richard. I mean, this Jets storyline that happened this year, it's a shame, because what could have been, and then 5 plays into the season, everything changed. Aaron Rodgers, news came out he is going to be medically cleared going in next week. Do you think there's any shot in hell that he actually steps foot on the field and plays a game? Or you think, what's going through your head if you're him right now?
No. I saw Zach Wilson get beat to hell. Mitchell. So Aaron Rodgers with a not healed Achilles tendon going back there and thinking, hey, I'm going to save the day. I do not see it happening, because he would get beat to hell. But he would be in a much different situation because he can't even protect himself unless he's just dropping at every sign of a sack, which is with this offensive line almost every play. And so I don't see it happening. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not Aaron. So maybe he does. Maybe he still makes the decision to go out. I wouldn't. But let's talk about my guy, Raheem the Dream, because he's having an incredible season, an all-pro season, similar to Christian McCaffrey. He's leading the league in rushing touchdowns. He's got 20 total touchdowns on the season, 18 rushing. He has more rushing touchdowns than 25 franchises, man. 25. What are we doing? This is insane. And he's done it while splitting carries with Devin Akane, and he's been out a couple of weeks, but still, this offense is explosive. Jalen Waddle has a season high 142 receiving yards on 8 catches. Bradley Chubb, 3 sacks. Brandon Jones, 2 interceptions. This defense is starting to come into their own. They played a freaking great game, pitched a shutout of the New York Jets, and that's what Vic Fangio does in December. And this was Tua Tagovailoa's game without Tyreek, and he was 21 of 24 for 224 and a touchdown. Not the same stats he normally has, but still a pretty solid game. And I guess, Mitchell, when you shut out an opponent like that and play such great defense, that's how you become Uber Eats. Almost perfect defense. That, y'all know this is a segment where we highlight the NFL defense that put on the most dominating performance. This week, it was the Miami Dolphins. They shut out the Jets, held them to 1.9 yards per play. Goodness gracious. Had 2 interceptions, 6 sacks. Miami also forced 2 more fumbles, held the Jets to 110 total yards. The Jets had only 4 yards in the first half, lowest of any team since 2015. Mitchell, I don't even know what you say during that performance. I mean, that was they did not look competent on offense with what Miami was doing to them defensively. They held them to negative 10 yards at one point in the game, negative 10 passing yards, which is a feat in itself.
But I tell you what it tells me, Rich. We're gonna have to change the segment from the Uber Eats almost perfect defense to the Uber Eats perfect defense, because I don't know how you get much more perfect than that, Richard. This Miami Dolphins team represented us well this week with the Uber Eats almost perfect defense of the week. And remember, you can order almost anything you want on Uber Eats, the official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Go ahead and order now. Richard, it's go time for Miami. I mean, they got a big game against the Cowboys next week. We've talked about it all season long. They like to beat up on teams sub 500. Now's the time to shine. Can they sneak away from the Bills a little bit and grab a stranglehold of this division? Or the Cowboys, are you going to have an earful to hear from Skip Bayless? We shall see. Richard.
Skip ain't got a lot to say right now. Skip. They took another beat.
Well, that they did.
Everyone loves making sports predictions, but there's a new app that's putting a whole new spin on the game. Check out Vaulted, spelled VLTED. Vaulted is an app where you can track your sports predictions and participate in daily cash prize pools. You can also show off your sports knowledge by dropping your boldest takes or challenging your friends to see who makes the best picks. You can even challenge me in my Richard Sherman NFL pool and take home some serious cash. All you have to do is answer the question and risk confidence points on each prediction for a chance to walk away with some big bucks. So download the Vaulted app. Again, that's spelled VLTED. The QR code is right on the screen. Prove you're smarter than your friends and get the Vaulted app today. Something magical happens when the third quarter ends and the fourth quarter begins. The energy changes. The fourth quarter is where games are won, where champions are made. And in business, it's where sales teams become legends. That's why HubSpot built Sales Hub, to give sales reps the deal-making tools they need to win in Q4 and close the year strong. Sales Hub's prospecting workspace organizes your schedule, goals, and to-do list in one place to save your team precious fourth quarter time. Smart sequences help sales reps close deals faster than ever. With an easy-to-use management tool, reps can find, track, and close deals all in one place. Plus, AI forecasting helps you accurately predict future success, which means less hoping for deals and more crushing targets. Put your sales team on the fast track to winning Q4 with Sales Hub. Learn more at HubSpot.com/sales.
We got to go to New England. We got to talk about the Chiefs a little bit here. Mahomes looks frustrated. Richard, what is your thought process when it comes to this Kansas City Chiefs team? They seem to have lost their luster a little bit. Rashee Rice is getting more involved in the passing game. It looks like Mahomes has a new favorite wide receiver target. But this Chiefs team just doesn't look like they did in the years past. Your thoughts on what's going on in Kansas City?
Yeah, in years past, you always look at different moments of the game and said, man, they're going to turn it on and they're going to pull away in this game. And they did during this game, but this is the New England Patriots. This offense has been pedestrian, to say the least. That's putting it kindly. I mean, at times they've looked like throw up in a cup, especially in the games against like the Chargers where they didn't score a point. But it's Bill Belichick's 163rd loss, third most all time, only 2 behind Jeff Fisher and Dan Reeves. They're talking about he may not come back next year to New England. I don't know if that's the right decision, but who am I? I'm just a humble servant. I don't call any shots in New England, and I just don't know what they're due. But this Chiefs team just does not seem like the championship team they have been. And as soon as we say that, Mitchell, they'll be right back in the AFC championship, and they'll find a way to get to the Super Bowl. But it does not look like a championship team. And for the first time in a long time, it does not look like the AFC championship will come through Arrowhead Stadium as the Arrowhead Invitation, as the Arrowhead Invitational has been 5 years running with their record. Unless something crazy happens and crazier things have happened, maybe Baltimore stumbles. They have really tough games down the stretch. Maybe Miami stumbles. But right now, it doesn't look like they'll be in control of their own destiny throughout, at least home field.
It sure doesn't. And they gotta figure things out here quick, man. I mean, but until then, the Kansas City Chiefs have got to figure this out. I mean, this is not the team we're used to seeing. We're not used to seeing Mahomes frustrated like this. But we shall see. They play on Monday night. We got another Monday night thriller division foe, the Raiders, next week. Richard, before we leave this Week 15 recap, we got a big game tomorrow with huge implications up in Seattle, especially. If Seattle wants to keep their true playoff hopes alive, they're going to have to put a win in the W column this Monday night. Richard, your thoughts going in tomorrow night's game? Do they have a shot here?
Oh, they definitely got a shot, Mitchell. They no question they have a shot, and they need it. They played a bit of inspired football, at least for the first half of last week. You saw, even with Drew Lock at the helm, they were competitive in that game. He threw a dime to DK Metcalf earlier in the game. And then, everything comes back to reality. It just, San Francisco 49ers are a really tough ball club, and it's going to be a tough win to get. But this Philadelphia Eagles team has been reeling. They're without their best corner in Darius Slay. They're starting Keely Ringo, a good friend of the program, a kid that's from Seattle, going back to play in his home state in front of the family and fans. But it is his first start as a pro. We'll see how that goes. This defense hasn't been playing as well as of late. They're coming off of a big loss in which Dallas kind of exposed them. I'm sure Seattle's watched that tape and see some things where they can take advantage potentially. Hopefully Geno Smith is back this week. I haven't seen I think they're going to make a game day decision. I haven't seen everything from that, but I will be at this game, Mitchell. I'm going to see this one in person because I think the Philadelphia Eagles are very vulnerable. They're taking a cross-country trip, playing in a hostile environment. If Seattle can have any game, they got to have this one. And if they get this one, the playoff chances increase substantially, especially with the Minnesota Vikings. Tough schedule down the stretch. Green Bay taking this loss helps them. And so, I think they can win it and give themselves a chance at the playoffs. And that'd be a tough game too. Them going back to Detroit to play the Detroit Lions, Mitchell.
I don't want to see that.
I don't know.
The Seahawks have had the Detroit Lions number over the last 2 years. They've also had the Eagles number over the last few years. So I'm kind of with you, Rich. I like the Seahawks here. They're in do or die mode, and I like their chances.